Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I actually just posted an album review of Bilmuri's last record, Wet Milk. So if you haven't checked that out, go do so. This is the two-parter of a Bilmuri series that I made up in my head. But nonetheless, really stoked about that. If you're new to the channel, I post interviews Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any band, like signed bands to unsigned bands, and everything in between. So really some great content coming from that. And then just finishing out the year with some top 10s, top, albums of the year, top EPs of the year, top records of the decade. Those will all be coming out before the year's over with. But tonight, we're going to be talking about Bilmuri's most recent record, Rich Sips. So as I had mentioned in the Wet Milk review, I am a Bilmuri stan. I've been a fan of him since his earlier years in Attack Attack, but I've pretty much been with Bilmuri since the beginning. Jaguar Shark, Frame, all of those sorts of records. I've listened to pretty much every Bilmuri record, and I think I've done a review of every Bilmuri record except maybe the acoustic one. So I feel like, if anybody's putting people onto Bilmuri, I hope that I'm doing just the smallest bit. But when I actually released the Wet Milk review, this record came out, and I obviously had to do a review of it to complete the Johnny Frank / Bilmuri collection of reviews from Audio Addiction. So you can always expect a review of a Bilmuri record no matter what. So future releases, expect some more reviews. But I'm gonna go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Thick Thickly. We all know, featuring Caleb Shomo. But I just love the obvious reference to Attack Attack, which is Thick Stickly, for those who aren't familiar with it and just aren't familiar with Bilmuri and Attack Attack and just Johnny in general. But getting along with the song, this is the first single that they had released, and I just love the juxtaposition of the sort of heavy chugged guitar paired with the really beautiful melodic overtones. There's some really great production value on this one. I think even from Wet Milk to this Rich Sips, I feel like he has just improved as an artist, and it's kind of crazy considering that he released both Wet Milk and Rich Sips in the same year. And as to grow as an artist like that, I think anybody wishes they could grow in that capacity. And I think that he's really kind of gone on this accelerated path. And there's some really fantastic tunes on this record. But getting back to just this song in particular, the chorus is an absolute banger. I think just because of that lead synth line, as I was listening to it, I was like, maybe it's just the vocal delivery from Johnny, maybe it might be the instrumental background, but it's really that lead synth line that gets stuck in your head, and it's that almost earworm thing that Bilmuri is just so good at doing, and putting together these tracks, that that was the thing that stuck out to me the most. Obviously just the instrumentals and the vocals, all of it paired together is just a great part of it, but if I could narrow it down, it would definitely be that lead synth line. I think that's awesome. And just the way that he's able to kind of mix both pop elements with sort of rock and heavier stuff like post-hardcore in just a unique way. It's just really, honestly, I don't know how he kind of meshes those two things together, and I imagine it goes through so much of a process before it gets to the end product. But really, I think this is some of his best work in terms of not only on a production value standpoint, but instrumentally. I think he really pulled it out of the bag on this one. But I will say the biggest troll of the year is this Caleb Shomo feature. When I had found out about it, when I had interviewed him not too long ago, last month, he had told me that Caleb was on a track, and I was really stoked because I love Caleb Shomo as well. Beartooth is a fantastic band. Caleb, if you watch this, love your stuff. Love to have you on the channel. But man, does that every time I listen to this song, it just kind of hurts, because like after a while you become numb to it. You're like, okay, you know what song it is, that's how the feature is gonna go, but every time it just kind of hurts a little bit more. And I understand it's like, it's a joke, it's a troll, obviously, but I would actually like for them to do a track together. I know people will say, oh, you can go listen to Attack Attack. That's very true. But I think as vocalists and as people, they have grown up, and I would just love to hear them collab in an actual way and not via a cell phone recording or however they wind up doing it. It hurt my soul. If it also hurt your soul, let me know in the comments. But we're gonna move into track number 2, which is bruh.mp4. That is how I felt about Thick Thickly. It was bruh when I first heard it. I was hurt. But getting back to this track more specifically, I love that this feels like a Polyphia meets the 1975. There was an older track that I was thinking of that I felt very much in the same kind of lane about it in a previous record that he did. I believe it was Heaven, was the song that I can remember it sounding kind of like Polyphia-esque, but this one was really well put together, and I think this is definitely a sleeper track off the record for sure. The guitar work seems a little bit more prevalent in this song, which is also a really nice plus as well. I feel like a lot of his songs kind of have that strong sort of electronic overtone to them, which could be good or bad. I think there are a lot of songs that he definitely works that in, and it just works out beautifully. But sometimes it can be a little bit much, but as of recently, he's been able to strike that balance between the two. And I also feel like this one in particular has more of a indie feel to it, with some electronic overtones, which he's known for. And I love the chorus in this track. It was one of those, again, earworm sort of qualities, those ones that you'll get stuck in your head. You'll be singing in the shower, you'll be singing it in your car, whatever. He has a way with the hooks, man. I don't know how he does it, but I love it. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is the Murray with Human Hair. I love the DGD reference, and it's also ironic that he has Tillian as a feature on this track. The intro is very cool, very ethereal and ambient, and it carries throughout the song. I feel like that vibe kind of encompasses mostly the intro, the first verse, and I would say like the second verse more specifically. And I think Tillian does a great job fitting in on this track, because sometimes Tillian can be a little bit tough given his vocal range is very much in the high register. But as a song itself, I think he contrasts Johnny's like kind of like mid-range vocals very well, and I would love to hear them kind of do more. I would have loved to hear them do harmonies on this track, but obviously that did not happen. But his vocal line was actually pretty significant, I'd say. It was starts at the 1 minute and 15-second mark and goes to around the 1 minute and 50-second mark. I'd say that's pretty decent for, again, a pretty large artist in the scene now, arguably probably one of the largest bands in the scene, and overall, I wasn't really surprised that Tillian's vocals really fit on a track like this, just because he has a solo project, which is mainly like more of his like pop varietal sort of music, and I already knew his voice suited that sort of styling of music, so it didn't feel out of place in a song like this that harkens more to like the pop sort of sensibility. Another great chorus. I think, again, he's really been striking gold with a lot of these choruses on this record in particular. But the one thing that really took me by surprise was that like that slow down to the breakdown, which is at the 2 minutes and 18-second mark and runs about to the end of the song. And that was nuts. When I first listened to it the first time through, I was surprised. And considering that, I feel like with Wet Milk there weren't really some like, I guess, per se heavy moments, and this one definitely felt like really heavy, really aggressive. And which is strange considering this song has more of, I would say, a pop leaning to it. But he worked his magic. Everything came out really well, and definitely one of the standout tracks off the record. So we're going to move on to track number 4, which is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. I believe that is a Star Wars reference. Somebody can quote me or correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it is, and I think I've seen somebody else corroborate that answer. So if it's not right, then I read something wrong on the internet. But anyway, getting back to the track, when I think of this song, I think of a Bill Murray song, and this is definitely a Bill Murray song from start to finish. It feels very much aligned with what he's doing, which is kind of a fusion of pop electronics with like post-hardcore and kind of indie elements, and this feels right up that alley, kind of like shoots the gap, man, and it kind of combines both of those moments together, as well as another track with a saxophone solo from Dan. Shout outs to Dan, and it starts at around the 2 minutes and 5 second mark to around the 2 minutes and 20 second mark, and there's kind of like some sporadic moments of sax sprinkled in there, but I thought this one was just a fast, great energy track that is one that, again, much like Bruh MP.MP4, I feel like will be a sleeper track, but again, brings the energy and continues that track record of awesome songs. So we're going to move in on the track number 5, which is 80/20 Sky Beef. This one, I would say, is hands down the best song off the record. I could corroborate, and I would fight anybody to say that there might be a better song off this record. I mean, they're all great, but this one feels the most standout to me. It has the hooks. It's definitely the catchiest song off the record, and it's that one that, as I was listening to the record, I was waiting for this to come back on, just because I was so hyped with the melodies, the arrangement of it, and just how it kind of feels like a pop vibe, but also has that sort of like just like real good like rock post-hardcore alternative vibe to it that just like he does best. And this one is, I'm unabashed to say, one of the best songs off the record. So we're going to move into track number 6, which is Cow People. This one took me by surprise, and I think over time I've grown to love this one more and more. I don't think it will take out 80/20 Sky Beef, but it's pretty close. And this one has slide guitar in it, which I think is very interesting. You hear that primarily in a lot of like country and like folksy sort of stuff. So it was very interesting to hear him bring that sort of aspect to his music, and just made it sound cool. Like, who doesn't love a good slide guitar part? There's also a slide guitar solo at the 1 minute and 45 second mark to around the 2 minute mark. There's also some sporadic parts towards the end portion around the 2 minute mark that is kind of sprinkled in there. But I just love how he incorporated the slide guitar into the song. Like, I know, ironically enough, the track is called Cow People, but just the way that he was able to formulate some sort of like slide guitar part that fit with his overall vibe and just didn't seem out of place worked out fantastic. And definitely one of those songs that is another sleeper that I think a lot of people will enjoy as well. So we're going to move into track number 7, which is Sourdough Starter, and this one features No Dice. If you haven't checked out No Dice, I can speak English. If you haven't checked out No Dice, their band No Dice, and Bill Murray did a cover collab that you should check out. It is awesome. No Dice, guys, if you watch this, come on the channel. I'd love to have you on. But they are fantastic. I love the reference to Bon Appetit. Shout outs to Bon Appetit. Love you guys. Love the content. But definitely a bit of a slower song, especially after Cow People having some really good energy along with it. I think this one definitely mellows it out a little bit more, but as a song itself, I like how Johnny is kind of like experimented with his vocal range, using to opt to go with more of a high register, almost like borderline like falsetto-y sort of parts, and just like his vocal delivery is just a little bit different in this track, which is great to hear. You hear No Dice at around the 1 minute and 35-second mark to around the 2 minutes and 20-second mark, which is a pretty lengthy amount of time, all things considered. It's almost a minute's worth of a guest feature, and I'm really not surprised considering that they have been working together for such a while. But I love No Dice's vocalist. I forgive me if I don't know your name, but his voice is so awesome. It really cuts through the mix very well, and I think I would have loved to hear some like some falsetto-y sort of like harmony parts. I think that would have been awesome, especially with over No Dice's part, their vocalist part. I think that would have been really great, or just some sort of like ethereal layering that would go on in a track like that would have made it a little bit more stand out to me. But overall, I think this is a great track. Probably not as good as some of the other ones, but another solid song nonetheless. So we're going to move into some pros and cons about the record. Honestly, I think this is his best work. I know that I pretty much say that with every review of Bilmuri that I do, but I can genuinely say that I will probably not be putting this record down for the end of this year as well into like early next year. I think it is that good. It really kind of combines a lot of like fun eclectic moments. There's got some really catchy moments. There's some little bits of heavy mixed in with some pop and indie elements, and it's just a smorgasbord of what you love from Bilmuri. It really kind of encapsulates his vibe, his overall sound, and it's a great follow-up to Wet Milk. I thought Wet Milk was going to be, on a high tier list, but this one's just as good, and if not better, and I've only had it for only a couple of days now. It came out on Tuesday, and this is going out on Thursday. Thursday. So, it's just nuts, and as a reviewer, it's cool to see his growth as an artist and being able to kind of take risks and people being really stoked on it, or maybe not, and understanding that as an artist he's really kind of just done what he wanted, and I think it's come out awesome. So my overall rating for Bilmuri's Rich Sips, I'm going to be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. Definitely in EPs or albums of the year. I don't know if this is considered an EP or an album. I don't give a shit. It is really fucking good, and you should go give it a listen. Links are in the description where you can find out about Bilmuri. Go pre-order or go pick up his record because it's out. But if you like vinyl, both Wet Milk and Rich Sips are on a double vinyl. So for those of you who also love vinyl as much as I do, your boy pre-ordered it because why not, and because I love Bilmuri. But go check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think about this record. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to know your opinions on it. Let me know what your favorite track is as well. I'm sure if you're much like me, you enjoyed most of it, if not the whole thing. So I am really stoked to see what he does in 2020, and dude, just keep up the awesome work. You've been really just killing it, and I'm glad to see that people are finally starting to notice. So thank you guys for watching this review. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. I've been working really just hard this year, and it's been awesome to see so many new and familiar faces coming back to the channel. I'm going to be doing 2 live streams before the year is over with. One coming up on this Saturday. I don't know what the date is, but it is coming up. I think it is the 21st. And then the other one the following Saturday, where I am going to literally go over all of the records I haven't reviewed this year. So make sure to watch that. You'll get a notification. There should be an event for that. So check those out in the coming days. And my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Hey Peace. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course,
If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.